I want to know where you stand on this.
Can you be friends
with your ex?
My question back, it's not to answer a question with a question, but my response would be, why?
Just do it. Just do it.
Okay, Shia.
Do you remember when that first came out?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, Shia lost his mind. Even Stevens lost his mind.
That's.
But it was really just a cry for help. It was really him just trying to let people know that they could do anything that they set their mind to.
Oh my God. And that's the episode. That was our motivational conversation. 29 seconds.
I wanted to talk about
this. So, wait, hold on. The way you just pulled that out. Have you seen Goodfellas?
No.
Oh my God, dude.
That's another like mafia movie.
Yeah, it's great.
So like, why would you think that I would watch that?
Because it's a good. Yeah, that's true. You don't watch good movies, but there's a scene where Tommy's mother has a painting at the table, and she's like, "Did I ever show you my painting?" And then she just out of nowhere, like they cut the scene, and she just pulls it out of nowhere. That's exactly what you just did.
We got a beautiful wreath made, and we haven't been able to feature it, and because we've had guests on and wasn't the right time. So I wanted to pull this out because this is probably one of the coolest, prettiest things literally ever. So we have gotten some really cool things made. Like I have my saw wreath that is like one of my favorite things ever. And I like really didn't want to put it away for Halloween, but Nick made me. But like I would like to keep it up all year long, but he says that's a little scary for the kids. But
for the kids?
Whose kids? We don't have kids.
No, you have a cat kid.
Yeah, we have a fur child.
Kid cat.
That's catchy.
All right, dude. Enough. That's gonna be its own hashtag now.
Kid cat.
No.
I love that.
I don't. I hate that.
So just when I thought it couldn't get any better, of like getting wreaths because I saw yours.
Yeah.
I have mine. We got one for us. So there's his. There's hers, and then there's ours.
Oh, my God.
And this one is ours. And it's so cool. The fact that she nailed the colors, first off.
The colors were nailed.
The colors were nailed. But you might not know this, but there's a little tiny double heart right here, which is indicative of literally our sign.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that, and she was going to actually, like, cut it to make, but she didn't want to ruin it.
It probably
I was like, that's attention to detail. The colors all match, the light blue, the red. Fantastic.
Can we just like, I just need to commission her for like my wedding at this point.
Okay. Well, you gotta go through me because I gotta add my percentage. Right, finder's fee.
I think she follows me, so I think I could just go directly to her.
She won't without an agent, which is me.
So
it's a contract, so really, like, But yeah, I get it. Why are you trying to have some stuff made for your wedding?
I might need to be honest. I need some DIY stuff. I didn't realize that the picture wasn't an actual like printed out picture. Did you feel that?
No.
Feel it. Like, what is that? Like,
it's like a magnet.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So maybe it's like more likely because it's thicker and it's heavier. So maybe it's more likely to touch water and not get ruined.
Probably.
Like a picture.
Yeah, pictures probably just like looks cheaper. I guess I never actually felt it.
This is so cool. I'm like so incredibly impressed.
I know. She said she had a surprise, and like I just didn't expect that.
I remember when you first told me about it. I was like. You were like, I have a surprise, and you pulled it out, and I was like, shut up. This is insane. It's so cool what she does and how she's able to do it. Like, this is like metal, like tin. Like, this part over here that has our actual logo. Like, so she, like, printed it.
Yeah.
And then, like, zip tied it to the wreath and then added all these cool different textures of ribbon. I don't know. She's just really cool. I want to meet her.
You haven't met her yet?
No, you won't let me meet your family.
First of all, that's not true. You met John, and you met Alex, and you met my niece. Three.
Yeah,
that's three.
Because hold on, that was like after knowing you for like a year and a half, 2 years at this, more than that, 2
Bro.
years. But it was because we did an episode. If I was just like, hey, can I come like hang out? You'd be like, no.
At my family's house? Well,
Like,
yeah,
to just,
that's
like,
weird.
Like, oh, let's go all out for like, I don't know, like let's go to the bar. Like to invite John and Alex to the bar. You'd be like,
yeah,
no.
no, yes, huh? What are you talking about, dude? Now you're making shit up.
No, it's fat.
They absolutely.
Because you won't even let me talk to your mom on the phone.
My mother doesn't call me. When do you want to just call her out of nowhere?
No, like when you've been at your mother's house, I'm like, let me talk to her. And you're like, no. I'm like, oh.
Because none of my friends would ask for such things.
Well, cool. I'm a different friend.
I know. Well, you also are one of the only people who's ever met Graham. And you probably forgot that he was at that event.
No, I don't.
Yeah, so that's
Am I
already
the only
big.
one?
Yeah, he did. Well,
You said he comes out rarely.
he comes out rare. But you know what, though? I say that, but I think everybody has probably been around him at one point. But
When does this
infrequently.
episode come out?
The 25th. So you can't say anything yet.
Oh, I can't. I want, you know what I was trying to
I know. You can't.
get at.
You can't yet. You can't
I'm
yet.
like, if it's the week after, I can say it.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be so fun. I'm so excited. All right, I have to sneeze.
But anyway, I'm going to link all Denise's stuff in the description,
Perfect.
her Facebook and whatnot. So she makes a bunch of different things. So
Perfect.
If you have a
A
thing,
vision.
yeah, a vision. If you have a favorite show, you have a
She'll-
favorite athlete,
She'll do it for you.
she'll do it for you.
I gotta do all. I'm trying to think of like, what are all of Nicholas's favorite things? Like he likes the Celtics.
He likes socks, apparently.
likes Nike socks.
He likes Nike socks. We can make a whole thing of just socks.
Actually, would be a really great baby gift if you just put like little clothes in the wreath, and like they could like pull it out as they get like older for like a 1 month, a 3 month, a 5 month. That's so cute.
I don't. No, not for me.
I think
that's
that's
not for me, but sure. It sounds fun.
What else does Nick like? The Celtics.
Should we do a
He
Celtics?
likes Hennessy. She likes.
I mean,
He likes a lot of things.
this is very specific. But anyway, yeah, if you have anything in mind,
Cool.
do it to it, Lars.
I'm gonna make it disappear the way I made it appear.
Okay, there he
Ready?
goes. Wow, it's magic, everybody.
Wow. Wow.
Imagine that.
Wow.
Would you look at that?
So today's episode, well, one, I need to talk about the fact that I have a staph infection in my nose.
Is it staph?
It's a staph infection in my nose. So
That's
it's infection.
gross.
Yeah.
What are the chances? You're on antibiotics, right? So I'm like,
I'm an antibiotic cream, so it's not anything contagious. What it is that
sure. How'd you get it then?
because I'm immunocompromised.
So, yeah, but that's
So what it is that there was a cut somehow in my nose from, me digging or just kidding. Oh yeah, or
a
that.
little bit of that nose candy.
No, I was sick for like 2 weeks like 2 weeks, about like 3 weeks ago. And what it was I probably made the inside of my nose raw. So now normally when you do that and like you're at a hospital setting, you're more likely to be able to like catch it. What I have, like the staph infection.
So like the ultimate story, you were picking your nose.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
No. So I probably made the nose raw from blowing my nose so much. And then instead of normal people going to the hospital and catching it in the hospital, I somehow got it in real life from bacteria that just like got into my schnoz. It could have been from scooping Duncan's poop. It could have been something
I was gonna say it's probably fucking cat dander. Another reason to get rid of it.
It was probably from his poop, from like scooping it in the dust, because I don't cover my mouth, but Nikki does when he does it.
You know what's great is I don't touch shit ever. It's awesome.
That's really unfortunate.
It's great. Like there's never shit.
You're gonna have to wipe a baby's butt, Uncle Joe.
No.
Uncle Joe.
No.
Nothing better than baby poop. At least my cat's poop are like this big.
Diaper changes go elsewhere.
Baby blowouts.
No,
Good luck.
then I give you your kid back.
Yep. Uncle Joe for the win. So, yeah, so I ended up getting a staph infection in my nose, and it was traveling to my sinuses. But I'm on an antibiotic ointment that I put in my nose 3 times a day, and it feels so much better everywhere else, but my schnoz still hurts, and it feels very swollen. So, we're not fully better yet.
Welcome to the
The schnoz.
The schnoz club.
Anyways, today's episode. Can you be friends with your ex?
Why do you look away when you say it? Because I feel like this is going to be something we differ on.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sure.
I think so too. I want to know where you stand on this.
Can you be friends
with your ex?
My question back, it's not to answer a question with a question, but my response would be, why would you want to be friends with an ex? Like, what is the gain here?
I think it depends on a case-by-case scenario, but, like, I think it's just immature to be like, I'm never talking to the, like, just because, depending on the situation, right? Like, if it was like that person did you dirty, but if you just kind of grew into different people, like, there's no animosity there.
See,
so,
but here's the difference, right? Because your definition of friends is wildly different than mine. Because you said it on one of the episodes. You thought we were friends after the first time we did that video.
We were.
Yeah, to you. So, like, friends, I think, oh, God. Blue, huh?
Yeah, Nick chose it.
I don't hate it, though.
Yeah, you chose it.
It's a little wild, but...
I did break one, though.
The middle one, of course. But, like, your definition of friends is different than mine. Like, I think what you're talking about is being cordial with somebody. Like, if you saw somebody out, cordial. Like, if you saw somebody out, if you saw your ex out, you wouldn't, like...
I would be like, hey, how are you?
That's being cordial. That's okay. But, like, friends is, like, people that you talk to on the regular basis. You call, you see, you message.
I think it's possible. Not to say that I currently do. I don't. But in regards to, like, two of my exes, I would not. Mm-hmm. In regards to my last ex, like, I think there could have been room where we would be friendly, where, like, I wouldn't go out and hang out with him for the pure respect of Nick.
Right.
But we would have been, like, I would feel comfortable checking in and being like, hey, hope you've been well. Like, how's your parents doing? How are your family?
That's
like,
just being cordial, I guess.
But that's being, like, friendly. Like,
but,
cordial would just be...
why? Like, I don't know. I just...
Well, I genuinely do care about, like, for example, his, like, grandma, his grandpa. Like,
sure.
They were the ones who were like, I think you could do better. So, like, they were looking out for me. So, like, for me, I have no animosity towards him or his family. We just grew to be different people. And I broke it off with him. Versus, like I said, we're not friends. But, like, that was a situation where I could see that being, like, friendly banter, whatever, just being like, hey, hope you're doing okay. You got an apartment. So happy for you. Glad you're doing well.
I get
like that.
But here's the thing.
Like, I'm not like, oh, we used to date, so now I don't like you. We're not friends, and I'm never talking to you again. And it's like...
Well, I don't think it's got to be that necessarily, unless it was, like, ended poorly. But to go out of your way, and here's the other thing. This
is really good today.
Did I double up on the protein, too? It's actually not bad.
It was one.
Oh, all right.
One scoop.
No, it's good. I forgot what I was going to say. The hell was I going to say?
You're going to talk about when you said it didn't have to be like that. When I was like,
oh. Here's the other thing. As a female, you reaching out is going to open the door, because they're going to think that, like.
But what if he has a girlfriend too? Like.
Then it would be. Then again, like, why even touch base? That would be the thing. If you give an inch. Even if it's completely innocent, if you give an inch to a guy, I'm just telling you, if you give an inch
to every guy, you're gonna, like,
they would assume that the door is open.
To every guy would think.
I
that
can't
like that.
say like 100%, but I'd be honest. As a guy, if you reached out, I'd be like,
if I wanted to, I could get back in there. Even though she's been in a relationship and lives with this guy and whatever, and I don't talk to him to be like...
I would immediately think that there's something wrong with the relationship.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, even if it's just, like, surface level conversations happening?
Because again, like...
Like, it's not being like,
What
I miss you so much. It's not like, I don't know, I went to this restaurant and I thought of you. Like, it's literally just like, how are you? How's your family? Like, that would make a guy think that the door is open for them.
Guys go to the strip club and think that the girls are into them. I mean, you got to remember, like, the mindset of a guy is a little bit different.
A little tiny.
What?
The mindset, the brain of boys can sometimes be very tiny.
sexist, but I mean, in that regard, I'm just telling you, like, if you reached out, I would think that he would probably think A, the door's open, or B, there's something wrong with her relationship.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, good thing I never have to worry about it, I guess, because like I said, I'm not like that with any of my exes, and I'm not going to start now. So I never have to worry about it. But like, I could see that two people can be mature. I mean, people are friends with their exes who have kids, and then they divorce, and then they have to be like cordial and friendly.
Different.
How is that different though?
Because there's a tie there. There's a tie. You have skin in the game. You have kids. Like, you can't not talk to your ex if you have to share custody.
Well, there's a difference between like you could talk to them and just be like, "Hi, Johnny boy got an F in school. Can you go talk to him? Whatever. Pickup is at 9." Like that. But like there are people who are adamantly still friends. Like the new wife hangs out. The new wife and the husband hang out. Do
you have an example of this? Because
I see it on like social media, and it's like,
yeah, because that tells the full story.
But like it's like people write in the comments and being like, yes, this is how like my relationship is too, where it's like giving examples. You and I divorce, right? You meet a new girl.
Yeah.
I meet a new guy. Mm-hmm. But the four of us don't have to just be like just exchanges. Like they can be friends, and they tend to be friends sometimes in healthy relationships.
I don't think they tend to be friends.
Healthy ones.
I think you can be cordial, you can be friendly, but when you say like, who are your friends? I don't think that your ex would be like, even in that realm. No. I don't think like that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't name that, but like
friends. You're saying friends.
When I say friends, when someone says like, who are your friends? I think of like, who are like my best of friends.
I know, but this is the point. Is like we're saying the same thing, but your line of friend. You thought we were friends the moment we met,
because we were. No, Joe. We weren't.
You're being cordial. You're being friendly. You can hang out. Like if you had kids, you could still do birthdays or something together, and it's okay. It's cordial, but you're not friends. It's also there's a level of not or respecting the person that you're with now
100%
to not like go down that road if you don't have to
100%. But I think that if someone's secure enough, like they feel confident in knowing that like you're never going to cross that boundary. Like I broke up with my ex for a reason. Nothing would ever bring me back because I made my mind. I made up my mind.
Do you know it's only like, it seems like it's only girls that want to be friends with their ex?
I think because girls probably have the stronger willpower to be able to be like...
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like guys would be like, exactly what you said. Guys think that the door's always open. It's like, oh, like I'm going to be friends with my ex because I'm always going to have her by my side, but then I'm going to start dating. Like, I feel like...
I think that's how girls might think too. Because why? I
think it's
else?
less likely for girls. Like, I'm not saying that it's not possible. I just think it's less likely. Possible. Like, where like a lot of times, girls specifically, like when our mind, there's like a saying, when a girl's mind is made up,
here we go.
They're done. Like my mind was made up a year before almost a year before I actually broke up. But in my mind, I was just like kind of giving it second chances or whatever. Yeah. And then I finally was like, you know what, this is done. Okay. A girl's mind is always made up. And then that's kind of like their final decision usually. A guy like will always they'll always like stick it back out again. Like they'll like want to try it again and want to try it again.
There goes back to the difference that we've talked about before where you typically have more options because you roll your eyes, but it's like that is nature. Like you have way more options potentially than any one guy does. You don't like hearing that, but it's like I don't know what world you live in. Like
because I feel like it depends. Like
it doesn't. On the whole, let's just go on the whole here.
But like I think girls also put themselves out there. So like if a girl is putting I don't know, like a going out picture and they're like by themselves and then they're in this like cute little outfit, like guys just like throw themselves. But like it's because but like if I'm doing a picture of me just sitting on the couch and I'm like there with my cat, like people aren't typically doing that. It depends on the situation. If I post a picture with Duncan and I'm in PJs and I'm holding a bowl of soup, which I've done before, that will get significantly less likes than when I'm in a 2-piece outfit. My stomach / midriff is showing, and it looks like I have a little bit of cleavage, which is completely fake because I have no cleavage whatsoever. And that will get significantly more, and most of the time it's more men.
Of course.
Right.
Yes.
But a guy doesn't have the equivalent. It's not that it doesn't happen. Like girls wouldn't throw themselves because they do to like celebrities that put themselves out there.
You really can't see the difference here?
I can see it, but I think it's not as black and white. I think there's a gray area there.
I'm not saying it's like 100% one way, but it's very much like, like if you look at social media or OnlyFans, which we've talked about, look at the top earners, top 10. Is it 8 out of 10 females? Like, of course, there's a reason for that.
Do you think the adult industry is made up of mostly female? And that could be why? Is that something that you'd be willing to like entertain or think about? Because that might be the reason why the top earners, I don't know this to be true, but that might be the reason why the top earners are women, because maybe there's more women in the adult industry.
And then why would that be then? Why would that be? It goes back to like,
women wanting to own their sexuality and like whatever.
It's supply and demand here. If there's a demand for more females to be in that space, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why you can post feet pictures and make money.
But guys can too.
They can, but it's different. Like, it's different.
It's because you're a guy. Like, there are, I'm sure, other people who, like, there are guys who look at guy feet pictures because they like hairy toes.
That's the minority. Like,
so now you have guys looking at guy hairy toe pictures, and then you have girls that maybe have foot fetishes,
we're talking about,
like, you never know.
We're not talking about the outliers. We're talking about, in general, on the whole. There's more women in that industry, potentially. There's a reason for it.
I just feel like there has to be a stereotype somewhere. Like, there has to be a stereotype in there somewhere where it's like, typically when you think of adult industry, you think of women. And when you think of the adult industry and women, it's usually like the men who are like drooling, paying for X, Y, and Z to like get exclusive content from the women or do this for the women. Like, that's the stereotype. Yeah. But I don't know if necessarily, I'm owning that I don't know that. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like, even though that's like our premonition of what we think it would be. Okay. I don't know if statistically that's true. And the reason why I don't know that is because we live in such a like progressive world right now where like men like women, women like men also like men also like people who don't have a gender or are non-binary. Women also like people who are non-binary. People like people like
but that's nothing. That's not new. We're talking about on the whole. We're talking about the majority. The majority.
But when do you think that even though this was the majority, let's say 90s and early 2000s, you don't think that potentially this might have flipped?
No.
A little bit in the past few years?
No,
like,
no.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
I feel like there has to be.
You think, all right, so what, all right, going down that road, like the majority of people are
I'm not saying it's a majority, but I'm thinking that it's less
that's what
like,
we're talking about.
But I think there's not less like majority of this and like minority of this and more like it might be potentially just equal. Like,
it's not. You think that there's the same amount of people?
I don't know for sure, but like I think that it's less. I think there's less people I think there's less of people being like men drooling over women online, and now there might be people. Equal amounts of people of women drooling over men or men drooling over men or men drooling over non-binary people. Nikita's a trans girl. Like,
I get it. I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
But I'm saying it's starting to like, maybe if that was here and this was here, I'm in my head, potentially, it's starting to level out. Maybe it's not quite there yet, but I think
what are you saying level out? What is leveling out?
Leveling out in the way that it's not just like black and white of it being like, oh, the majority of it is males.
But there's always going to be like a majority of something. Like, I don't see how, what is...
That it could never level out where it's not majority. It's equal amounts.
I don't think so.
I think that eventually.
But what I know, but what's you're saying it like it's like a change of something that is wrong right now.
No, not wrong. It's a change of the way that the world is progressing. Like, there are more people who are coming out, like the new generation. I think I saw this statistic that the newest generations of Gen Zers, there are less of these children. I'm going to call them children because they're younger than me, but there's less of these children that are coming out and saying that they are straight versus like the millennials.
But do you think that, because my guesstimate here would be that goes into like your gender, right? I can never question what you think. There's no way to ever verify it. So do you think that more people do it to hop on the train to say that, you know what I mean? Like, again, you could never quantify it.
Who knows?
I would think that
maybe not. Maybe they're just more open-minded and inclusive thinking, and that's just the way that they want to roll. Like, it's hard.
I don't know if it's inclusive thinking, because it's like if you are a female and mentally you are a male, that's fine, but that's in the minority. I don't think the majority of people have that.
I think it's in the minority right now, but I wouldn't be surprised when we become boomer ages, like where the boomers are at right now. I think the world is going to be a very different place.
Again, you can't quantify people. Like,
it's a far,
because I don't think that's
thing to think about, because it's not the reality that we live in right now. But I think the world is going to look very different. And where I'm getting at with the whole like leveling out is, I think that right now the majority still lies within like the male to female gaze, like the male gaze towards the female or whatever on social media, online, whatever. That might be the case right now, but I do think as the years go on and as years progress, that I think that is starting to change. Is the only thing that I'm trying to get at.
And I don't think so.
We'll circle back and hate that for me in 30 years.
Okay. The majority of people are straight. So I think that the industry is those industries, and this is all circling back to like the social media thing and whatnot, like the presence. If you don't think that the majority of the drooling happens from straight guys to women, whether they're gay or straight, doesn't matter. You're crazy. Trust me.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
Because I think that you think of this as like, I don't know why you're thinking of this as like a negative thing. It's just
I don't think it's negative. I just think that it's not entirely true.
How though?
Like I think to an extent
because you're talking about outliers
because I don't
here.
have numbers in front of me of being like, hey,
then you need to get out more. Then that what you're telling me is if you need a stat to like. Fuck the statistic. Like, have you lived ever? Have you been around?
Because I just feel like when I go to like a bar, right, as equal as of an amount as the girls or the guys look at girls and they go, oh my, that girl's so hot at a bar. The girls, as being a female, look at the guys and they go, that guy's wicked hot. Like, I want to get with him tonight or whatever.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
So I'm in my head, you're saying that there's more. We're going to stick to the bar scenario. There's more guys at the bar that are interested in the girls and drooling over the girls than the girls are to the guys. And I don't think that's true.
Drooling as far as what, though? Because then it goes back to, like, the industry that we were just talking about, right? You're watching stuff on the interwebs, right?
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we talked about in other episodes. The guy is typically going to get rejected more often then he's going to get a yes. Versus you or any female or most females, right? You have options. You can pick and choose for the most part. I'm not saying you can get every single guy, but you have options. You will usually be the one to drop the hammer as the female, where the guy has to shoot his shot. So if you're getting more no's, where would that lead you? That would lead you to your couch watching some stuff.
What's the scenario? What's the stereotype that they always say about guys? It's like a guy will have sexual relations with, or want to have more sexual relations with girl. Like they'll want to do it with anyone, anything, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Like that's like the testosterone.
Yes.
Girls don't work like that. So that's probably.
The point. That's the point.
Are we saying the same thing, but just in different ways?
It's my point is like,
I feel like the girls aren't rejecting per se because it's like, oh, they don't like them. It's like a girl could go.
Well, because a guy might just want to smash. And
that's usually what it is.
So that's my point, though. Like, the guy might just want to smash. Like, you guys have to, like somebody. Typically. I'm not saying all the time. You guys have to like somebody. We just want...
Or just in the mood, too.
It could happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
It literally
but
happened like 2 weeks ago. This girl, she was just like, I want that guy. And I was like... Well, that's my friend, so if you want him.
And she probably got him.
And she got him.
Again.
But he also wanted her.
That's like fine. And that's fine. But again, like, if you wanted to, you could, probably, for the most part. But that's what I'm saying is, like, that industry, everything, like, sex sells. And why is that? Because you just proved that point, too. If a guy goes out, he might just want to smash. He's just not looking to fall in love.
He would want to smash all 10 people, and those 10 people would be like, "No, you're gross, because usually of the nature of them being so like forward with it.
Right, and then if he can't get it out in that way, and he can't find somebody to smash with, he's gonna go home and probably pull his meat and watch some videos, which leads to the demand of what we just talked about. We're saying the same thing here, dude. We're saying the same thing, bro.
I have a very like gross visual in my mind right now, and it's of no one specific.
I was gonna say, bro, if it was of me, you need to change the channel.
No, it's of no one specific, but it's just like this like random dude in my head.
Fat Cheetos on his tits.
I literally think of like an old, like, not old, but like 50-year-old man just going home after being rejected. And it's such a grotesque vision in my mind.
Pulling his pud.
Ew.
Some Cheetos on his tits.
Not say that anymore. We're like done with this conversation.
But all in all, it goes back to like, can you be friends with your ex? Like The Rock is, I think, friends with his ex-wife, who they have a kid with.
Yeah.
And they're like business partners. But again, they have a kid. Like, I would say on the whole, like, the first question would be like, if you broke up, right, you date, and that's the risk. Like, if you're friends and you date, the risk is the friendship. And that's why a lot 100%. Of friends don't date, because the risk is the friendship, and then you break up, and it's always awkward.
Yeah. Usually is.
It's definitely awkward, and then you can't be friends anymore. So
it usually is, because sometimes the girl still has feelings. Is usually what it comes down to. And then the girl has to be like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's also like, in a way, to move on, you need to like
let it go.
You need to go your separate ways. Yeah, I'm not saying like you couldn't be cordial with somebody in person. Like, you see somebody out somewhere, it's like you can say hi. Yeah. But if I'm with the person I'm with and you're around, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to say hi to you. I'm not going to disrespect her to say hi. You know what I mean?
That's disrespectful. To just say hi to someone that you clearly had.
Like, going out of your way to say hi, because then it would be like, oh, who's that? Is that your friend? And then you like, I'm saying, if you like went across the room to go say hi.
If I saw someone and I made eye contact, I wouldn't ignore them.
Oh, yeah, you could say hi.
Would be like,
I'm saying going out of your way. Like, if you were at a restaurant, you wouldn't walk to the other end of the restaurant because you saw your ex and say hi.
No, that's a different scenario. But I wouldn't ignore them either. And I wouldn't just acknowledge them as like, what up? And like walk by them. It's like, we're all grown-ups here. Like, people have past relationships. People have a past period.
You also don't know how they're going to feel. Like, if you're walking somewhere with Nick and one of your exes walks by, they might be like...
They might. So and that's a reflection on them. And it's fine.
It is, 100%. I just don't know why you would want to be friends with your ex. Because I don't think it's good for either side. Like, you got to be able to move on.
It depends. Because it depends, because some people just, like, cumulatively agree that maybe this isn't the best thing for them. And, like, not everything has to have this, like...
But why...
strange animosity that then leads to like, we can't be friends. Like, it can really be as simple as they both mutually agreed to call it quits, and like it's okay,
and that's fine. But what I'm telling you is, in the moment that, even if it's an even split and you're both like, hey, this ain't working, Depending on how long you've been dating for, too. If you went on a few dates, then
no,
maybe it could turn into a friendship. But if
like
you
a 4-year, 5-year thing, like
yeah, then the friendship is not going to work. It's just not going to work. Because even if you're both like on the same page, where I can't stand you, you can't stand me, like it's whatever, but we can still be friends. It's just not going to work because as soon as that other person starts seeing somebody else, you're going to get butthurt.
We're going to have to agree to disagree because I'll always disagree on that. Just because I know, like, I just know, like I said, I'm not in that situation, but I know from my ex, I called it off with him, but we were growing into different people, but him dating someone else doesn't bother me.
Because you broke it off. Because you were the one who broke it off. So he probably cared.
So you think.
Time to wake up.
That's my alarm to wake up.
Time to wake up.
That's actually my alarm to post on Hate That For Me. So go
Perfect.
Go look at our new reel.
That was a week ago.
That was a week ago at this point. Yeah, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. And like I said, for me...
But it's easy for you because you broke it off. So it doesn't matter to you because you don't want to be with him.
Right. So I think I could hold a friendship with him, but like not keep him here. That makes him think that the door is open. But I think I could always not gonna.
Right. But why would you? Yeah, but there's a reason why you don't even do that. Because I think
I think he would be very hurt still.
Right. So there's a reason.
That's why I don't.
Right. Exactly. Because it's also, there's the person that you're with, and then there's also their feelings. Like you can be friends because you don't look at them with any sort of like, you don't want to be with them. You don't want to date them.
But I think there are times where like both people just don't want to be with each other. And those are the cases where I feel like it's possible to be friends. Because there is no hatred or animosity. Like, I don't think he has animosity to me, but I think he would still be like, he potentially still has feelings for me. But there are times where both people are like mutually like, yeah, this is not working anymore. And like for those reasons.
I don't know anybody that unless there's kids involved, I don't know anybody that is friends with their ex, that hangs out, talks. I don't know.
I'm gonna have people sound off below. Are you friends with any of your exes?
I just don't know why you would be if there's no kids involved. I'm not saying like down the line,
because it's possible to still care for someone that you were with for 5 years,
and that's fine.
And not caring in a romantic way, but caring in a way to be like, I want to check in and make sure they're okay.
I don't like. I feel like it's not your like responsibility anymore. I just think it's weird. Like you're thinking of like not talking to somebody as like animosity. There's no animosity potentially.
I'm thinking of like not talking is like, well, you guys were both each other's like confidant at one point. And not to say that there's not other people, but sometimes like when they're in a tough place, it might be nice for anybody to reach out to them. To be like, hey, I know you were struggling. Like, because sometimes people don't openly say it to, like, their best guy friends. Like, I'm sure your guy friends know everything about you, but they don't know your feelings. You don't even talk to me about your feelings. Like,
I don't.
Because guys typically tend to, like, keep that on the inside. So, like, for him, I'll give an example of, like, my ex. This isn't a situation per se, but... For my ex, he might have told me things that his friends and his family don't know. So I would feel really bad if something were to happen to him and he would take his own life because no one checked in on him to make sure he was okay.
But I understand.
And it's not my responsibility.
It's not your responsibility.
But as a human, as a decent human.
If there was something extreme where like something happened or a family member passed away or something happened, I'm not saying you can't reach out to that person and be like, hey, is everything okay? Yeah, I'm good. And then like, that's it. Just end it. But those are under like extreme circumstances. Like I
can give you an example where one of my exes had started using drugs. I was already in a new relationship at this point. I went out of my way to contact his mom to let her know that he was using drugs to rile him in because of the fact that like he was going down a really dark path after we broke up. And she was just like, thank you so much. And I would check in on him to make sure he was okay.
But that's even doing that. It's not you're not friends.
But I think that is kind of friends. Like you're looking out for another person, no?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I think my definition of friends
I
don't consider that a best friend. But
if I was dating somebody that wanted to be friends with their ex.
We all know that you would be pissed.
I'm sorry.
We all know that.
I'm sorry. What? I thought I had the floor.
Go ahead. Prove me wrong.
I would be pissed.
Yeah. Exactly.
I wouldn't be. Well, I would just question it. Like, why?
But that's normal.
For what reason?
Like, that's normal. That's normal to question any of that. Like,
it
would have been normal for your relationship to question our friendship because you're friends with a girl. Like, it would be normal for those kinds of things.
I get that, and that happens all the time with people. But if you're just friends, that's different. You can be. This goes into like, can you be friends with a
person of the opposite sex?
Yeah, and I do believe that's 100% true because I'm so
proud of you.
I have multiple girls that are friends, and it's platonic, and it's nothing like that. But I'm saying, like, if I was dating, or even still, if I was friends with an ex, I don't think the person I'm with would like that.
Well, like, would you be hanging out with your ex or just checking in?
I don't know. Just checking in.
Yeah, just like sending messages of being like, "Hey, I hope you've been okay."
I doubt 1,000,000% that she would like that if I was reaching out. If she knew that I was doing something like that,
I feel like I would trust the person that I'm with.
I'm sure it's. I don't think that she wouldn't trust it. It was just like, it would be why? For what fucking reason?
This just reminded me of something that happened in Love is Blind, and I want your situation. I want your opinion. Sorry, my nose hurts so bad right now. I want your opinion on it, and the opinion is this guy showed his fiance, like, allowed his fiance to meet two of his girlfriends. He had two friends that are girls.
Girlfriends is like just like friends.
Friends that are girls, okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
She later learned from him, he told her off camera and said, "Hey, I hooked up with one of them in the past, but it was nothing. It was like a one-time only thing. I hooked up." She was livid because she's like, that is super like inappropriate. Like, I don't want you to be friends with someone that you've hooked up with. That makes me feel uncomfortable. Where do you stand on something like that? Because the internet was like divided on that.
I would appreciate the honesty, and that. However, I appreciate the honesty. However, if you know for sure in that situation that like that was a fucking one-off, it's you know what I mean. I would say like, and it happened in the past, and there isn't like you never dated, you didn't actively hook up. It was like a one-off random thing. I would say, why? Not to lie about it, but why even bring it up if it's like a non-issue? You know.
You don't think he should have brought it up at all?
I appreciate the honesty, but again, like you almost have to play politics with it. Like, okay, if he really doesn't like this chick, and they're just friends, and they didn't actively hook up, they didn't actively date, and like it was a one-off, and they hooked up, and you know that you don't want any part of it.
I would want to know that. Like, I would want to know the past that you had with her, even if it was a one-off.
I'm not saying you wouldn't want to know. I'm saying the political side of, I appreciate the honesty that he had.
Yeah.
But again, it's almost like you're unintentionally creating a problem where there's not a problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
So what would be the way to avoid it? To not tell the fiance that they had hooked up? Because I think that's wrong.
I would say, like, was it a one-off? Like,
yeah, I think that's what they made it seem like. It was a one-off. They were friends, and one night they hooked up.
I would almost look at it as like, it depends on when it was and how frequently. But if it was just truly like, if you were friends for X amount of years, and then like you both were single and you both got drunk and you hooked up, and it was like one time, and then it was like, then that was it. I would be like, there's nothing.
You would take it to the grave and not tell.
I don't know. I just don't know if there's like, I don't know. I don't know what that does really. I don't know. I feel like it's creating a problem where there's not a problem.
It is, but I think that the girl has a right to know.
Right, because then every time he talks to that girl or hangs out with her,
that's exactly what happened.
Then that's the thing. Like, so again, if it was a non-issue, you know what I mean? Like, you're giving her reason to doubt you. But again, I appreciate. It's weird. I'm torn myself because I appreciate the honesty.
Because he was honest about it and came forward and was like, "Hey,
right.
Just so you know, this is something that happened. It happened once, and that was kind of it."
Right, but now she's always going to look at that like. That's what I mean.
Wouldn't
like,
you rather have like heard it from him than years and years down the road? All of a sudden, she learns like, of this random night and it slips out and whatever, and then you find out.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. It's weird because, like, then say it happened out that way. Say it played out that way. And, like, years down the line, they have already been friends and the hookup was fucking years ago. Yeah. And she goes, oh, yeah, by the way, did he ever tell you that we hooked up? She's like, no. When was this? Oh, it was it was like 15 years ago. Now, you might be pissed, but for him, it's like, it was like a non-point. Like, oh, yeah, I hooked up with her. Like, I also hooked up with other people. Like, just because we were friends didn't, like, I don't look at her that way. You know what I'm saying? But I think the whole thing is like, I appreciate the honesty out of it though.
But
again, it's like, I think you're potentially creating a problem if you truly don't want to be with that person, and you know what I'm saying? I feel like then you're almost creating
a rift.
You're kind of creating a problem where there doesn't need to be. I'm not saying lie, but it's like.
But you're saying lie. Just kidding. But like kind of.
I mean, I'm putting myself in.
You're not saying lie, but you're saying just don't, like, leave it out.
If you have feelings for your friend or whatever, if that's like a thing, or they actively hooked up, then that's different. Because then it's like, now it's not fair to her. But also, like, just if you hooked up with a friend one time and it was like, I don't know.
I had a friend who actively told an ex. Now an ex, but like their current relationship, to be like, hey, I'm friends with Camilla, but just so you know, I used to have feelings for her, and we never even took it to anything. We were strictly just friends, but he was just like, I had feelings for her.
He said that to who?
To like his current girlfriend, to just let her know.
Yeah.
So like that falls in the same realm. It's like, I mean, she didn't like me after that, but
again, If that's
but he was like trying to be honest.
I know, but if that's no longer the case, it's like, because it's almost like you're saying it to make it a thing. Why, like, if it's not a thing, why even say it?
I guess I could see it like that.
Like, if you, again, it's all on, you would know, every individual would know. If you truly do not feel that way,
fair.
Then it's like a fucking non-point. Now you're creating a thing with the person that you're with, and now they're going to look at your friend different, and they're going to question you, and it's like...
That's true. So moral of the story is...
Fucking don't be friends with your exes.
Don't be friends with your ex, according to Joe. Be friends with your ex,
don't be friends with your hookups, and then you don't ever have to worry about this.
Don't be a Jimmy from Love Is Blind. That's the moral of the story. Don't be Jimmy. Jimmy's the one who told his fiance that he hooked up with his friend. Again, don't be Jimmy, according to Joe.
Don't be friends with people that if you're with somebody, just don't be friends with your exes and people you hooked up with. I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I don't think when it goes back to it, I don't think there's a reason other than like if there's kids involved to be friends. I think there's a level of being friendly and cordial. But
and
friends.
I will agree to disagree.
I find it odd that you would want to be friends with your exes. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not, but I think that's a okay thing to do.
I don't at all. I'm looking out for Nick here. I'm on Team Nick.
Good thing Nick doesn't have to worry about it.
Nick.
Nickelodeon. Oh my gosh. We'll have to talk about this in the next episode.
Okay.
Quiet on Set. There's a new investigation discovery that just got put out. Talks about all the shit that happened on the Nickelodeon sets for like all that. Amanda Bynes. We're going into it in the next episode.
We're doing it. Everybody, tune in. Next week's episode, we have a guest.
Beautiful.
You're not going to say who our guest was?
No, let it be a surprise.
Okay, it's a surprise. We have a guest for next week's episode.
Love that for me.
I hate that. I hate all of it.
Bye.